guys, you are welcome back to my kitchen, and thank you for always watching and sharing. In today's episode, we'll be making some classic, delicious and tasty shortbread. Very easy to go about it. You need just like 3 ingredients to make your shortbread. So let's get to the kitchen and get started. So like I told you, for our shortbread biscuits, we'll be using just 3 ingredients. So I have right here 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm using confectioner sugar, that is icing sugar. This is how it looks like, and it is the best sugar that you can use for your shortbread. When I say best sugar, I just mean like icing sugar is preferable for your shortbread because it is smooth. And then you need some butter, unsalted butter. So the butter that I'm using is at room temperature. So you make sure when you are making shortbread biscuits, you have to put your butter at room temperature for some time. And here is the butter that I'm using. This butter is unsalted butter, and it is soft enough for me to use. For my shortbread, I actually left it out of the fridge for like 3 hours before using it. I'll also be adding in a teaspoon of salt. So we'll start by adding in our butter, unsalted butter. This is 10 spoons of unsalted butter. When you look at the texture, it's really soft, the way it's supposed to be. So this butter, you have to take it out. If you have your butter in the fridge, you have to take it out for like, and keep it at room temperature for some time before you start mixing your shortbread. So when I put my butter, I just give it a good stir. You see how soft it is, really soft. Then I add in my teaspoon of salt. Add in my teaspoon of salt. Mix it well. Then the next thing that I'll be adding is my sugar. This is icing sugar. I showed you before. This is how it looks like. What I'm using, this is how it looks like. This is best for your shortbread. So I'll add it in. I'm using a 1/4 cup of the icing sugar. And mix it well. Make sure it's well incorporated. I'll add in my flour. This flour is 2 cups of flour. So I'll add it in. 2 cups of flour. Mix it in there. So I'll start the process and finish it with my hands. So I'm mixing it. Make sure that it mixes well. See how soft the texture is? It's really good for our shortbread. After you mix it well, you transfer it on a chopping board and you knead it again. And then instead of rolling it down, you can form it directly into rectangular, like a rectangular prism, where you cut it to form your shortbread. So what you do is you just cut the dough and try to knead it with your hands. You're kneading it and then you tap it a little bit, trying to form like a block that when you cut it, it's going to give the shape of the shortbread biscuits. You can as well use the rolling pin, roll the dough down, and then you cut it out into the shortbread biscuit shapes. But I just prefer to shape mine in a block, and it's easier for me that way. So if you want, you roll it down, then you cut it out into the shortbread biscuit shape. So you can use the rolling pin. I don't want to use it right now. I just want to form the block. And then I cut it into my shortbread biscuits. Just watch and see how it's going to come out to look like. So when you form the block, you're going to rub it with the transparent cling wrap. and you put it in the fridge to chill out a little bit for like an hour or more, so that it can have that hard shape, easy for you to cut. You can still put it in the freezer, but you make sure it is not too hard. But the essential thing is the dough should be a little hard, easy for you to cut it out into that nice shortbread shape. You cannot skip this step. You must put your dough in the fridge. I just took out my shortbread from the fridge. Look at that, like a block, just how I wanted it to be, just like a block, easy to cut out. So we're going to cut it out into the shortbread shapes. So guys, when you're cutting your shortbread, try as much as you can to cut it into uniform slices so that your end product can really look presentable and beautiful. So when you cut it out, just go ahead and line the baking pan with the parchment paper, and then you spread out your shortbread biscuits in the baking pan, leaving some space in between. Here is the parchment paper I use to line my baking pan with. So you line it up well in the baking pan. And the next thing you're going to do is to put like some holes on your shortbread biscuit. It is a biscuit, so traditionally you put some holes, but that is optional if you don't want to put them. You leave it like that, but I think it is more beautiful when you put the holes. So I have two ways that I put the holes on the biscuit, either with a toothpick or with a fork. But I just prefer the fork because it goes easily than the toothpick. With the toothpick, it takes longer, but it is still effective. When you're done putting the holes on the shortbread, preheat the oven at the temperature of 350 degrees, and then you bake your shortbread for 10 to 15 minutes. And there, your shortbread is ready. I took like 15 minutes of prep time, 20 minutes of cook time, a total of about 35 minutes to come out with my shortbread. Shortbread can last for weeks if stored properly. It can be a perfect pairing for a cup of tea or coffee, and you can snack on it all day. You can even use it to entertain your guests. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and share for others to watch. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time. Bye.